Hello and welcome back to another episode of Respawn Radio with your host Paul
and Raphi.
Today we're talking about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes, we are.
The 2001 movie.
2002?
2001.
Oh.
For some reason in America it was called Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
What was the book called?
The Philosopher's Stone.
Well, then the Americans got it wrong.
Yeah, but the Americans' books are also called Sorcerer's Stone.
So what did J.K. Rowling and it, want it to be called?
Philosophers.
So then the Americans are wrong, both in
Why though? Do they not know what a philosopher is? Or do they think the word sorcerer would just sell better?
Well, so a philosopher is someone that spends their life, thinking about stuff.
I suppose it's not very exciting, is it?
What do philosophers do?
Harry Potter and the accountant's book,
Okay, I guess where they're going at, because sorcerer, it's to do with magic.
Did you ever read the Harry Potter books?
No.
No, never?
No, never read any. My brother has. He had all of them. I haven't read a single. I've only seen the films. So all my knowledge of this episode
it's just for the
is
movie.
Just pure film.
That's fine.
And a little bit of the Wikipedia.
That's fine. Well, I read the book. I got all the way up to book 5, The Order of the Phoenix, and got about, a fourth of the way into it and just got bored and stopped. The books they're too long.
Each book gets thicker and thicker.
Until it gets to the 6th book, and then it gets smaller. And
she's
smaller again.
I can't be bothered writing
this Order
much.
of the Phoenix, it's like the Bible. It's so fucking thick, it's mental.
And people do treat it like the Bible as well. It's ridiculous. People need to calm down.
Can't you just like things
without being
weird? A fan, being creepy over the top.
Anyway.
So it was filmed in 2000, but it's actually set in the early 90s
91.
Because that's when J.K. Rowling wrote the book. And I think at the time, obviously, she didn't have any kids, and she sort of based the idea of Harry Potter off of her own son, how she wanted. I mean, and you wouldn't want a kid like Harry Potter, would you?
No, Harry Potter
he has such a shit upbringing.
His life isn't what you want it to be, because he's got dead parents. He's basically a shitter version of Batman who can't act.
Yeah, poor Daniel Radcliffe. I mean,
he's a good actor.
He got better as he got.
He got way better. He went on, but in this film and every subsequent Harry Potter film, it's like the directors don't really care.
Generally,
any actor that could wear glasses would have been good for the role.
No, I think he was good as Harry. He was quite.
But
I mean, when you're 11, 12 years old, which I think he was.
I watched this when Harry was meant to be that age. I grew up as he grew up.
I think you mentioned it when we were watching it. They got a whole bunch of kids that essentially can't act, and they're all new. But contrasted to that, they've got such a good cast
roster of British the best of the British actors are all in this.
So you got the Professor McGonagall. I forget that.
Maggie Smith,
Hagrid,
Robbie Coltrane, who when J.K. Rowling was writing the book and she was writing Hagrid, she wrote him as Robbie Coltrane.
That's who she pictured in mind, yeah.
So she wouldn't let the films be done unless Robbie Coltrane...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so...
She was quite heavily involved, wasn't she?
She was massively involved. She was a main producer of it. So she basically was dictating certain parts.
I remember because she was ongoing with the series. When this film came out, she had only written up to Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
So she was like, we can't put this in and put this in because it would contradict what's coming up in my upcoming books.
And then later on, when she wrote Gandalf, when she wrote Dumbledore.
Dumbledore does look a bit like Gandalf in this one.
He does, yeah.
It's a different actor. Poor sod died after the second film.
Yeah, no, first film.
Second film. He's in the second one as well.
I'm sure it's...
Trust me.
Okay. Anyway, Harry Potter.
He gets dropped off at Privet Drive because his parents have, been killed. He's living with his aunt and uncle until he's about to turn 11.
McGonagall's they're the worst muggles, and it's just they're not rapists, are they?
He's just
you're not going to drop him off with Gary Glitter, are you? The worst muggles.
Yeah, she actually says, she goes, these are the worst kinds of muggles there are. And I'm I could think of worse.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, they're horrible. They don't talk to him very nice. They make him sleep under the stairs.
But at least they feed him and clothe him. He's not getting raped.
Yeah, he's not getting beaten.
Yeah.
He probably Dudley's a bit rough with him.
Yeah, but he's not giving him black eyes.
Yeah.
There are worse muggles out there. I would never put that child with someone like Jimmy Savile. They're bad. Anyway, so... and Dumbledore agrees to this, even though she's they're the worst muggles, and Dumbledore's I know.
Well, it's because it's the only family he has.
Well, yeah, but he could have gone to, I don't know, child services.
Yeah, the wizard
or
child
Dumbledore could have just said, you know what, I'll look after it.
Or Hagrid, or anything.
Yeah, anyone. So, Harry gets dropped off at Jimmy Savile's house.
And he's there, he's got his uncle,
who treats him like dog shit.
He's horrible. The auntie, Aunt Petunia, who
is just as bad, really.
We mentioned in episode 4 of our podcast, is the same woman from Super Mario Bros. Who's the mad...
Yeah, the ginger one.
Crazy lady.
Yeah. Obviously the son, Dudley.
Dudley Dursley.
Yeah, he is so spoiled. He's just a fat shit.
36, but last year I got 37.
It's like, oh
I
my God.
don't care how big they are. He's such a little prick.
It's his birthday, is like in the opening scene. Mm-hmm. They go to the zoo, and Harry has a little conversation with a snake. Like the snake fully talks to him, and he accidentally uses magic to make the glass disappear that's housing the snake, and Dudley falls in, and then the glass reappears.
He's like trapped in there.
He's trapped. Harry's laughing his arse off, which I find funny as well.
He goes, it was there and then it was gone. It was like magic.
So he locks him in the door and just like, there's no such thing as magic. And I'm like, yeah, he said it's like magic, not it was magic. Like magic.
My favourite part about that whole sentence is that you said he locked him in a drawer.
Yeah, well, he did, essentially. He locked him in some drawer in a cupboard. Anyway, so after Harry Potter uses magic for the first time, he starts getting letters.
Yeah, he got a letter through, right? And he does the dumbest thing ever. So he picks up this letter, and it's like his first letter in his life.
And he opens it in front of the family.
Why the fuck didn't he just take it straight back under the stairs?
Yeah, where he belongs. He opens it in front of everyone, and Dudley nicks it from him.
Yeah, it's like an admission letter to Hogwarts, the wizard boarding school.
And obviously his uncle won't let him.
Because they know of it because...
his aunt's sister was Harry's mum.
And she was a witch.
And they hated her.
Well, the parents didn't. It was only Aunt Petunia who thought that. But really, she thought that because she was jealous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they rip up the letter, but more letters come. So it just gets to the point where the house just starts getting flooded with letters. He's like, we're getting away, far away. And they go to this one island in the middle of the ocean that's just got this really tall
it's
house.
It's like Azkaban.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're there and they think they've gotten away with it somehow.
And then now it's, even though it's only been a day since Dudley's birthday, it's Harry's birthday now.
And he does the saddest thing where he draws his own cake into the sand of the floor and makes candles and it just blows it out.
I just felt pity already.
Yeah, I was like,
oh.
But the thing is, Harry is just the easiest target for a bully ever.
J.K. Rowling turned the nerd into the hero.
Yeah.
He looks like a nerd.
Well, yeah, he's got glasses that are broken and anyway, so Hagrid comes in and barges through the door.
Hagrid just barges the door down like a boss.
Yeah, and he's just
smashed, and he's like, sorry about that.
And just lifts it back up.
I fucking love Hagrid.
And then he's just like, I got you a cake, Harry. He personally hands Harry a letter of admission to Hogwarts, and he's like, "You're a wizard." And he's like, "I'm a what?" And the memes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, this is the point where I was thinking it really shows the lack of quality in child acting, because he's like, "But he can't be a wizard."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm just Harry," and I'm like, "Oh my God, did no one actually do any other takes?"
Maybe child actors can only act for short amounts of time a day.
Well, no, they're 4 hours, but I would spend...
I'm still not convinced it's 4 hours, I'm pretty sure it's longer than that.
I think it is.
We've had this discussion when we talked about the Goonies.
I know, I can't be bothered getting back into it. Anyway, so they do the only take.
Clearly,
and it's just the worst thing ever.
So he gets his letter and he reads it, and then while Hagrid's berating the aunt and uncle for keeping this secret from him, Dudley's in the back
eating the cake,
scoffing the birthday cake like a little fat bastard.
The one that Hagrid sat on.
He uses his magical umbrella, uses it, and gives Dudley a pigtail. In the book, they explained that he had to go to hospital and have surgery and have it removed.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was real. It was a real tail. It wasn't a temporary thing. It was a bone.
Fair enough. Anyway, so they escape.
They get to London, and he's sort of saying to Harry, "You got to, go shopping, get your shit for school." So they go into.
Oh yeah, they go to a pub.
This is where Harry realizes that he's actually famous within the wizarding world because of what's happened to him as a kid.
Yeah, people acknowledging him and
They meet. One of the people they meet is a guy. He's a Professor Quirrell. He teaches defense against the dark arts.
Yeah, and he's got a weird stutter, and he always seems nervous.
Yeah. So it's
I'm sure he's going to be a very lovable character for the
exactly
for
yeah.
the rest of the film.
You don't suspect. He throws suspicion immediately.
Yeah,
you could say overcompensating. They get into a Diagon Alley by doing some code on a brick wall with the umbrella. They get in and they buy all this shit.
He meets Vernon Troy and Warwick Davis.
In Gringotts Bank.
And all the team. He goes there and he's just got, like, riches.
He opens up this vault that's been left behind, like, this inheritance from his parents, and it's fucking stacked. Like, he is rich.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he was left so much money, why his parents were so successful.
Maybe they had incredible life insurance.
The
Absolutely.
Order of the Phoenix life insurance, because that's what they did during as their day jobs.
Yeah, so maybe they were just like, let's just take out some money, life insurance plan, because I'm pretty sure we're going to die. And then if our unborn son should ever happen to become a wizard... I mean, he was just lucky that he could use magic, because if he couldn't, like, he would have just lived the rest of his life.
Well, they do explain what happened. So they sort of brush over things like the broomstick and a broomstick shop, which comes into it later on. But my favourite trip is the Ollivanders one.
Yeah.
Because he gets in there, and it's not only it's John
Hurt.
It's John Hurt. He's like, here you go, test out this wand.
And he just tries it in the shop and blows something up.
He's like, go on, give it a wave. And you're just thinking, do you not have like a target room or like a safety
imagine if
room?
you were in America and you ordered a gun. And he's like, all right, okay, just
give it
a shoot at least. And he just blows up like the mirror. And it's just like, okay, maybe not that gun. And it's like, here, try this AK-47. Just give it a go. And like destroys half the shop. And it's like, maybe not. Yeah, so he gets the wand.
Part of what's inside it came from the same place that went into the wand that was used by...
Yeah, so it's like a twin wand.
To the one that belongs to Voldemort. And I don't think we've actually said by name Voldemort, obviously, is the fucking villain. Now, he
picks up the wand and he gets a load of other shit.
He gets an owl.
He gets an owl.
Hedwig. After this, they're in a pub. I think they're back in Leaky Cauldron. I don't know if it's the same pub. There's exposition and Harry sort of probes for it.
Yeah,
which is fair enough.
He wants to know who Voldemort is.
Yeah, he says like, I know you know the one who killed my folks, because John Hurt let something slip. Like he explained,
he shall not be named.
The one who killed his folks and whatnot is the same one that gave him the scar that's on his head. We haven't even mentioned the scar. So Harry's got like this lightning bolt shaped scar. Yeah. Throughout the film, it sort of hurts. When he's like
John hurts.
It hurts when he's like close to Voldemort.
Yeah, like it gives him like a spidey sense, essentially.
A burning sensation spidey sense in his fucking head.
Anyway, so he's just explaining what Voldemort is, and he's like, well, do you think Voldemort's back? And Harry's like, yeah, he's back somewhere, but I think he's just too tired to...
But they don't call him Voldemort. They don't call him by his name.
They just say he shall not be named. There's a brilliant bit.
Know who.
There's a brilliant bit where he's trying to say Voldemort, and he's like... And Harry's like, just write it down. He's like, oh, I can't write it down.
I don't know how to spell it.
It's fucking more than 100.
So they go to King's Cross because Harry needs to catch a train. Now, this bit I don't understand. Hagrid, when they were in Gringotts, went to his own vault and picked up the Philosopher's Stone, which at this point you don't know that's what it is.
Yeah, and he's just like, I need to give something to...
Yeah, I need to give this to Dumbledore. And Harry's obviously like suspicious, but he kind of doesn't bring it up again. He drops it.
And then he just disappears.
Yeah, he's in King's Cross Station and he's like...
With an 11-year-old, basically just the worst adult supervision ever.
He's like, I've got to get to Dumbledore to give him this, right? So Harry meets Ron and whatnot, and he goes through the thing and he gets on a train and he gets there, and then he meets Hagrid on the other side. Why didn't...
Hagrid just go with him?
Why didn't Hagrid just take Harry or get on the train with him? I don't know why he felt the need to abandon him.
I don't know. Anyway, so they get on the train...
And this is where you meet the other two supporting cast members,
yeah, so
like Harry's
meet Ron,
trio.
You meet Ron and he's got a little bit of dirt on his face and it kind of shows that he's from like a very poor family, I guess.
And then you meet Hermione, who's like...
Just the worst. She's so snobby.
Like the way she talks and whatnot, and it does my head in.
Okay, so we meet Ron, the lovable idiot. And
Rupert Grint, the funniest person in this. Like
he's genuine. I think Rupert Grint is actually a good actor.
But he's got so many funny lines.
I know.
He's got like funny mannerisms, like when he's having that back and forth with Draco when he first meets him, and Draco like mugs him off for being poor, and he just looks like he wants to punch him, and you believe it. The bit where they get to the classroom and like Professor McGonagall transforms from a cat into a human, and he's like, that was bloody brilliant.
He's good in it.
He's funny.
So they all meet, and this is where Harry turns out to actually be a massive knob anyway, because he buys all the sweets and all the chocolates just for himself and Ron. Doesn't give a shit about anyone else that would ever want any chocolate. He just hoards it all.
Well, he does it because he feels bad for Ron, because Ron pulls out this bag of like squashed sandwiches or something.
And he's like, we'll buy it all.
Yeah, so he pulls out this, he goes, I'm like mad money. He pulls out a big handful of galleons and buys the whole
But he doesn't know how
trolley.
much that's worth.
I know. The trolley lady could have gone like, yep, that's right. Yep, just give me all of it, in fact.
So they get off the train, they meet up with Hagrid again.
And then they get on some boats and they actually go to Hogwarts. They meet Draco Malfoy, who's kind of like
a massive knob.
He's like their peer antagonist. So there's bad guys in it, but he's like he can't escape the spirit of Dudley Dursley, you know.
And he comes from like a massive family, like a well-established, like high-ranking family.
It is interesting though, because at first he does extend the arm of friendship.
Because he's Harry Potter, he's like famous. So he's like,
is that why he did it? Just because he's famous, you think? Not because
actually, he's the only one he went to was a famous person.
Yeah.
He didn't talk to Ron. He didn't want to know. He didn't talk to Hermione or any other one.
They go into the Great Hall, which is like this fucking massive dining room for like the whole school.
Yeah, to get sorted.
Big, long tables, just tons of kids already there just waiting for them.
Like all houses sit down and then the kids get sorted. So the sorting hat tells you which house you're going to be in.
It has a light means of like analysing your personality, but
and where you'd fit in.
But you do things because of your choices, and it takes that into account as well.
But like the sorting hat's a bit of a dick because it goes to Harry. Everything is a bit of a dick in this film. Everyone is just slightly a bit of a dick. So it goes on Harry's head, and Harry's like, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. And the sorting hat is completely out to him. He's like, not Slytherin, eh?
Yeah, like at like volume for everyone to hear.
Imagine if the sorting hat went, not Slytherin, eh? Well, fuck you.
And he gets to the Slytherin table, and everyone's just like,
not Slytherin, eh? Too good for you, are we?
And they beat him up.
And then, it's instantly disliked throughout the rest of the film.
So after they all get sorted, they go to their dormitories, and it establishes how the castle works. In like, there's like stairs that move, like enchanted
of their
stairs.
own will, so you need to be quick or something.
And there's like house ghosts. Like there's the guy from Fawlty Towers is nearly headless. Nick.
Yeah, John Cleese.
Yeah, and he's like nearly headless. How can you be nearly? Just like this.
I didn't notice till you pointed out how he does like the best eye roll ever.
What, Harry?
Yeah, and I don't think like it was actor advised. I reckon he just did it.
He's probably just sick of Emma Watson.
Yeah.
Like Daniel's just like, oh
my God, I've known it for like
it looks like a real eye roll as well.
Yeah, just watch it back. It's brilliant.
They make their way to the dormitories, and, you know, they're 11 years old at this point, fair enough, but they're there until they're 17, and they're in these dormitories in really small sort of quarters, and, like, you know, what do?
They're going to go through puberty.
Uh-huh.
Most guys will have a wank at night. Like,
you can't do that in Hogwarts.
You can't do that in Hogwarts.
In Hoggy, warty, wanky Hogwarts. No. You can't do that.
Harry Potter and the cum-filled sock.
Harry Potter and the crusty magazine.
Yeah. It just wasn't what you'd want. So, they all, like, spend the night there, I guess. You know what I don't get?
Go on.
Harry literally has just found out that he's a wizard and that magic exists, and he's staring outside the window at night, and he's just like, this is nice. And I'm like, oh my God, how are you not more excited by this? You're a fucking wizard, and you used to live under the stairs.
I tell you this, child acting
is, yeah, okay.
We'll leave it to that. So, they start their classes.
Yeah.
And one of the first classes is Professor Snape. Alan Rickman. Incredible, like one of the best characters in the whole series. Like
he's fantastic.
There is no other actor that could have done that part.
No, he literally was born to play that role. So he's, again, this is the next problem I have. So he's talking to Harry, and he's like, Harry, what would happen if...
Is that your best voice?
Like, let me try it.
Potter,
what would happen if you mixed a root beer with a weed of discipline? And he's like, I don't know. And he goes, well, fame isn't everything then. If I was Harry Potter in that situation, I'd probably stand up and just go, I've known about magic for about 3 days. Give me a fucking break.
You might as well just say, I've been living in the Truman Show all my life. Apparently people knew me.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I didn't know I was famous. I used to live under the stairs.
Well, to be fair, there are cut scenes where like he gobs off back to him.
Well, he should do.
He looks at Draco like he's the favourite, and he's just like, some possess the inherent abilities. And
he's terrible. Like,
he's no better than your impression.
My Alan Rickman is fine. So after that, they go through a few days, and eventually they go to their flying lesson with
Madame Hooch.
Yeah, who is fantastic in this film. I love her.
I forget the actress's name, but I recognise her.
She's in My Family.
She's in My Family, but she also played as Cassandra in Doctor Who. She was like, you know, the flat skin person, the trampoline.
Yeah. Oh, was that her?
That was her. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. They're all like having lessons, and starts off by saying, right, just put your hand over the broom and say up. And Harry gets it instantly.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He's the instant natural. Ron can't do shit.
Broom whacks him in the face. It's the funniest thing ever.
Hermione's struggling as well, and she gets a bit pissed off that Harry does it so instantly.
Draco's pretty quick with it too.
And they all mount their broom. And what's his name goes all over the place. Longbottom, Neville Longbottom.
Neville Longbottom. Well, I don't know what happens because
I swear, like, because he's flying on it.
Right.
He's the first one to fly. He's not really been told what to do.
It seems more controlled. Like later on in the film, there's like a Quidditch match, right? And Harry's broom goes all haywire, and there's a reason for it, and it's because it's got a curse on it. And Neville's broom looks like it's doing something very similar, but there's no way that all just happened by accident because he flew up, he flew around, the broom started like going from side to side. He's fallen all over the place. But I don't understand if that was done, why?
I think there was meant to be like a little bit of humour, just to progress.
Humour? He ended up going to the hospital.
I know, but just for humour and just to progress the story a little bit because...
He drops his little item, the Remember-All.
Yeah, everyone got a bit of mail and he got a Remember-All, which is the most useless item ever. It turns red if you've forgotten something, but it doesn't tell you what you've forgotten.
Yeah, I already know I've forgotten something, for fuck's sake. Unhelpful.
I know. So
Draco picks it up because he drops it, and
he's like, he's not getting this back. And he's eventually being a bit of a bully. And Harry's like, give it to me, I'll give it to him. And he's like, no, come and catch it. So Draco kind of flies off on his broom because he's on instant natural, and Harry goes after him. And Draco chucks it through the sky. It's such a good, like, he fucking throws that thing.
It goes so fast.
He's got a good arm, and Harry just zooms past him to try and catch the Remember-All thing.
Yep.
And he does it right in front of McGonagall's office when she sees him catch it.
So she puts a good word in for him to join the Quidditch team for Gryffindor.
And he's like the youngest one ever that's ever done it.
I like this, that Harry's constantly being rewarded for doing stuff that he's told not to do in this movie.
There's so many contradictions in it. So when they all start off, Dumbledore's like, okay, so there's a few places you can't go. You can't go into the woods. It's forbidden.
And you can't go onto the third floor corridor because it's out of bounds.
Yeah, and there's a part of the library you can't go to. First of all, why are these places exist in a school is beyond me. Why not just not have them? They're dangerous. He's like, if anyone should want to go, just know you will die a slow and painful death. And it's like,
welcome to the school.
Yeah, welcome to the school, 11-year-olds. I'd be like, no, get rid of them. I don't want to die a slow, painful death. I don't want that as an option.
Yeah.
Anyway...
Harry and Ron and Hermione, they get like trapped on like some stairs, and I don't know why
the stairs just randomly go to the third floor and they go in, and so they go through the door and they're like, we shouldn't be here,
and they're about to get caught by the caretaker. So
they don't. They see a cat and they're like, run! It's the cat.
The caretaker's cat, but I think it's established that like he can communicate with the cat, so the cat can grasp them.
Yeah, but I would just been like,
kill the cat.
No, I wouldn't want to be kill the cat. I would have just been like, we want supposed to be here.
But what's his name? Filch. Filch is a prick.
Yeah, but I would have explained to any of the teachers. I would have been like, the stairs led us there. So they run through the forbidden hallway and they come to a door which is locked, and Hermione knows like this unlocking spell.
Well, she knows all the spells, doesn't she?
The thing is, there's a 3-headed dog that's guarding the Philosopher's Stone, as we found out later.
A massive Cerberus called Fluffy. It belongs to Hagrid.
That door was so easily to break into, and that dog could have killed them. And that whole thing happened by accident.
But I think
how has this school not been sued?
I think it's implied that like it's
later on.
First of all, I think the stairs have been fucked with, and I think Hermione is just like she knows so many advanced spells that it would be.
But it can happen, and it did happen, and they could have died. This film is just kids, 11-year-olds, nearly dying
in harm's way
through no fault of their own, and sometimes through massive faults of their own. So they find this dog, and then they run out because Hermione's like, "Didn't you see what he was standing on?" And
it was a trap door, and Ron quite rightly says, I wasn't looking at his fucking feet, I was looking at his head. He's got 3 of them.
Yeah, and it's like, did you not notice that? And I'm like, fucking too right. You would not notice a fucking trap door. So Hermione goes to bed.
And anyway, next day, Harry's he's with basically the goalie, the keeper of the...
and they're explaining how Quidditch works.
Quidditch team, yeah.
Now, Quidditch makes no sense. So...
they fly around on broomsticks, of course.
Okay, but I mean, the pointing system makes no sense.
Okay.
So it's 10 points for every goal you score.
Well, it depends. I think they get more points if it goes in the other hoops. I don't know. There's there's 3 hoops, goals on each side.
Let's say it's 10, 20, and 30 points, depending on which hoop you get. I don't know if that's true. I'm probably wrong. What I do know is if you catch the snitch, that ends the game and you get 150 points.
Right.
So let's just say you are whipping the arse of the other team and you get to 140 points and you are just like on fire, and then the other team catch the snitch and get 150 and then you lose. Like, fuck off. If that happened to me, if I were playing Quidditch and that were real, and I was playing the game of my life and all of our team were working together, but because Harry Potter's got a faster broom that one of the teachers gave him, he's able to catch the snitch. I'd be like...
It's established the game, maybe not established, but it's a fact. I'm not a massive Harry Potter nerd, but I remember, because I used to like it a lot when I was a kid. But the game can't end until you catch a snitch.
Yeah,
the game like can go on for days.
Yeah, but let's just say you get to 140 points.
I know, it's unfortunate, but...
Yeah, it's stupid. I think the game should end after like 90 minutes and just forget about the snitch. It makes more sense.
What about the others? So you got the quaffle, and which is, I've already got issues with the name of that ball.
Yeah, the quaffle.
The blue quaffle. And
it's called a blue waffle.
I think it's called the chasers. They grabbed it and they threw it through the hoops. There's 2 other people on each team called beaters, and they have like mini baseball bats and they smash around the giant sentient bludgers. Yeah, and they're just there to cause havoc. Yeah. Like they're there to injure people.
This game again could be easier if you removed half of the things and just had it about a game of flying around, which is
with a quaffle.
With a quaffle in itself, that is going to be difficult.
I do kind of like it. It does add some level of anarchy to it. You know?
Yeah.
There's a few in-between classes. There's like the Charms class with Warwick Davis, and he plays as Professor Flitwick, who in later films looks completely different. Like he looks like an old man with Doc Brown hair in this one.
Yeah, they completely changed.
And next one, they give him like glasses and a black bowl cut. There's a Leviosa scene, which
is great.
Which is great. That spans so many memes and
Leviosa.
God, I knew you couldn't help yourself. In the Charms class, Hermione pisses off Ron, so like Ron like does impressions of her, and like it upsets her, and she goes off to the bathroom. Now, while she's moping around like a whinge bag, Professor Quirrell bursts into the Great Hall while like everyone's eating.
She's just screaming, "Troll! Troll in the dungeon!" and then passes out.
Which is like the most unprofessional way.
Yeah, he's a teacher, like. And the idea is to not scare children and create havoc. I mean, I get he's like eventually the bad guy, but as a teacher, what you would have like if there's a fire, you don't run into the building going, "Fire!
Everyone panic!
Panic!"
So everyone's getting evacuated, and Ron and Harry are just like, "All right, we got to go find Hermione."
Yeah,
they don't even like her.
They don't like her, but they know she's in the toilet, so they just go and rescue her.
And then they see the giant troll. Now the troll is what weird. It's like a giant. It looks more like an ogre.
This film doesn't hold up with its visuals. The visuals look shit.
That is true.
The ogre or the troll looked like Shrek.
It's like a giant blue Shrek. Yeah.
So they take out the troll. They take out Shrek. Fucking like all the teachers then show up after they take him out. Somehow they got the worst timing ever.
Yeah. It turns out that the troll was actually released by Quirrell, you know, the one who came in screaming about it.
Yeah. Basically, he's got Voldemort on the back of his head. He's the worst teacher ever.
Following this, Harry gets his broom as like a gift from Professor McGonagall, the Nimbus 2000.
Even though he can afford his own.
And then they have their Quidditch match.
And obviously it's Slytherin, so they have to be as physically evil as possible. One of them's got like the worst teeth ever. And he's like,
it's got a voice like that. Get on that side.
You go on that side. I'll take this
Sounds like an orc from Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
You said, I'm evil.
Yeah. He's like, I am from Slytherin. And they sandwich this poor girl who's probably, well, let's be honest, it's not the first time she's been sandwiched between 2 guys. And they lead her into a wall, and she crashes. She somehow manages to get inside the wall.
It's like wooden frames, and they've got like giant flags that go down. She
hits the wall. She falls to the floor. She's unconscious. She's dead.
No, she's not dead.
She's dead. The other one of them like is like, give me this bat, and like grabs the bat and like smashes the bludgeon into like
and then
the goalie's head.
That's their goalie gone.
And he dies.
So much death in this game.
Everyone's dead. And I think this is legitimate.
Harry's just sitting there on the broom watching the whole thing.
Yeah, the Seekers don't do anything until it's their turn. It's like...
I mean, the golden snitch is so small and so fast because it's like a little golden ball that's got wings. And
but I feel like
he has to wait around until
I feel like Harry having the faster broom is like an athlete doing steroids.
I don't know. I guess it's more like just having a better pair of shoes if you're a runner.
Yeah, shoes can't make you run quicker. it could help you run quicker. If a broom is objectively faster.
I don't know whether or not it's faster.
I mean,
think
they
it's
said it was the
easier,
fastest broom in all the land.
but I don't know. I don't think it's speed. I think it's more just like handling and like responsiveness, because the broom, like, he has a Nimbus 2000 in this one, and then by the end of the third film, he has the Firebolt. It's like more responsive to his thoughts as opposed to him like physically controlling it. So I don't know. So about midway through the match, his broom just starts to go haywire, and Hermione and Ron see Professor Snape. Like, they don't like Snape, so they like, this whole movie makes you want to think that he's the bad guy.
You do think he's the bad guy,
but he's not.
I mean, I was 11, but I thought you were.
Like, he's an asshole, but he's actually, believe it or not, trying to protect Harry. So Harry,
throughout the entire film, he is. So Harry's broom is going crazy, and Hermione and Ron, via binoculars, see that Snape is staring at the broom, mouthing something like non-stop.
So
like
they think this is like a jinx or a hex or whatever they put on the broom.
because Hermione's like, he's not losing eye contact.
But it turns out that was like an anti-hex that he was doing to counter that someone else was putting on it. Anyway, they managed to stop him by setting him on fire.
Yeah, which breaks the concentration. Harry then gets back on his broom and catches the snitch in his mouth and basically throws it up and wins the game by 150 points.
Then it's Christmas. They sort of established that Ron is good at chess.
Yeah, he's having a chess game against Harry, and the chess is kind of barbaric because it kind of destroys each piece.
Yeah, I love it. It comes alive and like the chess pieces like beat the shit out of each other.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, exactly. Harry gets his first present ever. And I'm not including the shitty jumper that Ron's mum made him. He gets an invisibility cloak.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in thinking that is one of the Deathly Hallows?
Yeah, that is one of the Deathly Hallows.
So it's like, obviously this was made before Deathly Hallows was even like considered.
Yeah.
Right? And the book was written before it's considered. But the letter that came with it basically said that I've had this, like, kept it safe for you because it belonged to your father. Now, was Harry's father the descendant of one of the three brothers? Because in the scene in Deathly Hallows where they're talking about the Deathly Hallows, he says he passed his cloak on to his son.
Maybe
down the generations.
Maybe he is. Maybe that's why he's special.
Yeah, maybe. So
he gets an invisibility cloak, and they find out what they're after is a Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, because Hagrid lets it slip that the name of a person who's associated with Dumbledore who helped make the stone and whatnot. So
they decide to go to the Forbidden
Library, the restricted section.
And he uses his cloak, and he finds all the books he needs, and he kind of takes them out. But
then he gets a bit sidetracked and finds the Mirror of Erised.
Yeah, and I think in the books he's meant to be looking into that mirror for days on end or something like that.
Yeah, he comes back day after day for a certain amount of time. But in this film, basically, he looks in the mirror and he can see his deepest desires that he wants. And obviously, he hasn't got any parents, so he sees his dead parents. And it's the first time. It's quite a sweet moment. And then he brings Ron down. He's like, Ron, look at this mirror. And he's like, Ron sees it and he's just like, yeah, you see them? That's my parents. And Ron just like interrupts him.
Yeah, he's like,
and just like, no, fuck your dead parents. I've won the Quidditch Cup and I've got that, and I look good, boy.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's like the most insignificant thing. Like Harry seeing his parents.
It's so fucking selfish. I love it. I love Rupert Grint. And he's so
brilliant. Harry Potter sees his dead parents and then eventually sees himself becoming Batman. For he has dead parents.
Dumbledore comes in and is just like...
Yeah, I love it. I love this bit. He's like, if the happiest person on the planet were to look into the mirror, he would only see himself as he is. So Harry's like, so it shows you what you want. And he goes, yes and no. It shows the person what they want.
Yeah, he proceeds to just go, Harry, you're wrong because I'm right.
Yeah. It's like, he just tells him back what he said in a different way.
Fuck you, Dumbledore.
Everyone's a prick to Harry in this film.
The whole point of this mission was to find to find anything on Nicholas Flamel, right? Yeah. But after this whole thing happens, during the day, in a normal part of the library, Hermione comes over just like, oh, I overlooked this thing. I came across this guy's name a few days ago in this giant book for a bit of light reading.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck did we need to go to the restricted section for?
They could have just let Hermione do it. They didn't even use that book. So they found out what the Philosopher's Stone is and what Nicholas Flamel is, and they realised that this is what could keep Voldemort alive, because they go into the Forbidden Forest because they were out at night.
Well, they don't think it's Voldemort. They think it's Snape.
Yeah, they think it's Snape that wants it.
Yeah.
But they get into trouble a little bit later on because they keep on going to Hagrid's at night, and eventually Draco catches them and snitches on them.
Yeah.
For some reason, the punishment is going into Forbidden Forest.
Hagrid's got this dragon egg.
Yeah.
He calls it Norbit, and it's a Norwegian Ridgeback. It's totally not important.
Well, the whole reason he got the egg is because he let slip about what Cerberus is and how he can be tamed via music.
He talks to a lot of strangers in the pub.
And he tells a lot of people what they shouldn't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a running gag in it, though, because he's constantly going, shouldn't have told you that.
Shouldn't have told you. That's what he tells Harry Potter. He's like, oh, just sing a little bit of a song.
He's not what are you doing in Irish?
Oh, he's just singing a little bit of a song there.
Let's have a look at my dragon.
Let's have a look at the dragon now. He's like, I shouldn't have told you that. They realise what's going on. They go to the teachers to tell them that it's Snape, but they don't believe them. Mm-hmm. But they go and do it themselves naturally.
Well, that's after the forest. So they get caught. So Draco grasses them up, and on the way to detention, the caretaker's taking them, Filch.
Yeah.
And he's like, back in my day,
we used to hang them by their thumbs in the dungeon. And I'm just like, no fucking wonder you stopped doing that. Jesus Christ. Does this school try and actively to get sued? Because it seems every idea they have, they're going to get sued. Hanging 11-year-olds by their thumbs in the dungeon.
You can tell that this was prior the McDonald's coffee on the lap controversy, suing sort of madness begun.
This is when you could do anything.
Exactly.
Again.
This is when health and safety was not a concern. I mean, it was 92 for fuck's sake.
When he goes into Forbidden Forest, he goes in with himself, Hermione, Ron, and Draco Malfoy.
Yeah.
And it's Hagrid that's sort of in charge of them, making sure they're safe. And his plan is to find a unicorn that's died. And he goes, right, Hermione, Ron, you come with me. Harry, Malfoy, you go by yourselves.
Yeah, it's just more child neglect from Hagrid.
Anyway, it's Voldemort.
So
he's drinking... Okay, so this is what I don't get. So he's killing unicorns, which is why all the kids are there to find out what's killing the unicorns.
Yeah, that's what they're investigating.
And they say, if you drink the blood of a unicorn, even if you're a second away from death, it will extend your life. Mm-hmm. But Harry goes, well, what person would do that? But you already got the answer. Someone who's literally a second away from death.
Yeah. You would have thought that Harry would have done more research on Voldemort.
Yeah, but
right?
no.
I said no. He's concentrating more on Snape. He doesn't like
He's got
Snape.
an invisibility cloak, which he never uses, ever.
Yeah.
They kind of piece together what they need to do. So they know, once they know that Cerberus falls asleep, they go straight to Cerberus to find him.
Yeah. Harry's just right, no more fucking around. We're actually going there tonight.
Yeah.
They bump into Snape, and Snape's just like, someone will think you're up to something.
And then Harry's giving him a death stare.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, from Snape's point of view, he's been helping the three children all along. And he just looks at Harry, who's giving him a death stare, and he's just like, he's got this look on his face.
Alan Rickman does this sort of double take and sort of looks back at Harry like,
what did I do?
So they go to the third floor corridor. They get to Fluffy.
He's asleep.
He's already asleep. There's like a harp there that's playing.
Dog's paw is covering the trap door, so they move the paw. And while doing so, the dog wakes up, but they don't notice straight away until Ron gets a load of saliva on his jacket, and it's kind of one of those. It's oh Ron.
It's like a giant drip of what looks like wallpaper paste, just splats on him.
So they scream, and then they leap into the
devil's snare.
Yeah.
Now this is
like a tree.
They're in these vines that are like sentient that wrap around them. Now the whole puzzle there's like three major puzzles. Each of them apply to each of their skill sets.
It's like they were made for these three people.
Convenient, right?
Yeah. So the first one, Hermione's like, I read about these. Of course she did. Just stay calm and you'll be fine. So she stays calm and she falls straight through and lands on the floor. Mm-hmm. Harry sees that she's fine after she shouts, I'm fine. So he calms down and falls straight through. Ron is squeaking out.
He's having a complete spurg attack. He's just like...
But you can hear Hermione's like, oh, I remember this. They're allergic to light or something.
Yeah, so she uses a light spell, blah, blah, blah. He falls down.
Right, so Hermione's task is complete and she wins with flying colours.
The next one was the one with the keys?
Yeah, the keys. So there's a broom there. For some reason, there's a broom. And there's a load of keys, and there's only one key will fit the door. And Harry figures out which key it is. But as soon as he touches the broom, all the keys gang up on him and just go straight for him.
They're going to hit their death by flying keys. They're going to stab him in the arse. So they start chasing him. He gets the key, and it's like a broken key. And he knows it's the right one because it's like matches the door. Because it's like old, but everything in this fucking castle is old. So it makes no sense how he...
But anyway, so he opens the door with that key after he catches it on his broom because he's naturally the seeker. So that's his skill set done. The next room is the worst of the lot. It's a massive room that is a chessboard, and the only way across
is to
play chess. Now, there's two things that I have issue with. One, it's not the only way across. You can walk around it.
Yeah, but
it's not like there's a drop.
I think they tried to do that, and like fire bursts up, doesn't it? Is that what happens? They try walk around and fire just
okay.
appears?
If that did happen, then fair enough. We've already established, like during the Christmas special of this bit, that Ron's a chess genius. He's like, right, I'll be a knight. And the way he says knight, he's like, I'll be a knight. It's like, yeah, I'm the bitch.
Yeah. Like it's a horse, but with no rider. So Ron gets on that. Harry's the castle. Hermione's the bishop.
Yeah.
Now, they play and they win.
But Ron sacrificed himself, and this is the second part I have issue with.
Go on.
Ron didn't need to be on the knight.
He didn't need to be on the... Well, maybe it wouldn't have moved unless he was on it. Who knows?
Yeah, but then, okay, so we can establish that. So let's just say, okay, checkmate. Just get off the horse.
I love that the Queen stabs the horse that Ron is on. Like, he sacrifices his own piece, but he doesn't get hurt.
No, it stabs through the horse.
And the horse falls over.
Yeah.
And he hits the floor and is immediately unconscious.
Like he's died.
Like he's actually been wounded. I mean, he fell off of a horse that was probably about 7 feet tall.
Made of rock.
You know, bits of rubble and whatnot hit him in the
But
face.
he could have just got off the horse initially. He didn't need to be on the horse.
You're just not convinced that there would have been a
I just don't think they needed to play chess. I think they could have just avoided that one.
Hermione joins Hagrid in abandoning Harry.
Yeah.
And is like
everyone else in Harry's life.
I'm going to stay with Ron and, you know, look after him because he's having a nap.
Yep.
He's having an Odin nap.
Yeah, he's...
I had to. And he gets into the room and it's like the big M. Night Shyamalan reveal that it's not Snape, it's Professor Quirrell, the guy who's barely been in it.
He stutters all the time and wears a turban.
But all of a sudden, he's got loads of charisma and is actually evil. Now, essentially, he's got Voldemort living on the back of his head. That's why he wears the turban.
Don't know how he got to the
That's what I think. Because Voldemort, he says, this is how I survive. I live like a parasite off the others. But how did he get there, though?
Maybe he was one of the Death Eaters and he found his soul and just attached it to his
possibly.
body.
I mean...
It doesn't explain.
For some reason, Dumbledore's moved the Mirror of Erised right down here to the boss level of this, you know, right at the very end, in like this place that gets like surrounded by fire. And he goes and looks in the mirror. Now...
The mirror shows him that he has the Philosopher's Stone in his pocket.
Yeah, so Quirrell's aware that the Philosopher's Stone is within the mirror. I don't understand whether it's there or whether it's conceptual, because Harry looks in the mirror, he sees himself putting the Philosopher's Stone in his pocket, and then he feels his pocket, and it's actually there, like for real.
Yeah.
Now, at the very last scene of this film, where Dumbledore is in the hospital with Harry, he explains that the reason he's able to obtain it is because there was like something, like some spell that was put on it that would make it so that only a person who wanted it but had no intention of using it could get it. He gets the stone and Voldemort's like, he's got the stone, get him. So Quirrell goes to get him, right?
And chokes him.
He goes to choke, and then Harry touches his hand and he like disintegrates.
But he should have disintegrated when he touched his neck.
Yeah. maybe his hands have special powers.
Maybe it's just really handsy.
Yeah. Quirrell's like, oh my god, my hands got, what is this magic?
And then Harry like touches his face and his face
oh my god. When I was
off.
a kid, I was like, this is fucking horrendous.
It's like he's turning to stone and like evaporating in front of him, and he's like,
Harry's just killed a guy.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Harry has legitimately killed a guy.
But this happens because
of a spell that his mum put on him.
It's all part
like a protection spell.
It's all part of the same thing that caused the scar on his head.
Yeah.
It's
love.
It's the magic. It's the magic of love. It's so lazy.
Bad.
It's lazy.
It's lazy. Yeah. There's no like legitimate thing. It's just. I mean, it does explain it later on that
he just says it's ancient magic that's like couldn't be comprehended, or it was just like unexpected. It's some fucking convenient
bullshit
plot wanky thing.
So he defeats Voldemort, and Harry is like recuperating in a hospital bed. Dumbledore has like a little talk to him, saying,
and then he explains all that I just said.
And then they go to like the Great Hall, and they're doing the whole like, and the winner is Slytherin.
that of the House Cup.
Yeah, and they go like, the winner is Slytherin, but I'd like to award like 50 billion points to Gryffindor.
Dumbledore fucks over Slytherin at the last minute.
It's like Slytherin,
and you can just see Draco Malfoy's just like life crumbling around him. He's just like 50 points to Ron for being good at chess, 50 to Hermione for knowing magic and shit.
Yeah.
Harry
50 points for being brave and breaking the rules,
and then an extra 10 to Neville for also being brave.
Yeah, Neville.
Oh, did we even forget about Neville? On the way to the third floor corridor, Neville gets in the way. And he's like, I'll harm you. And they just, Hermione's just like, Petrificus totalis, and like turns him into like a frozen statue and just falls down. And that's it. And
But he gets 10 points for trying to be brave to stop them. They don't get any points against them. I bet people from Hufflepuff were like, well, these guys who were constantly in detention and breaking all the rules, and we followed all the rules, and we haven't done anything wrong. Fuck them. I don't even know why Hufflepuff or Raventail, whatever they're called. Ravenclaw are even in it.
Well, it's like Gryffindor's brave, Slytherin is like cunning and
evil.
Ambitious.
Evil.
Yeah. Ravenclaw are clever, and Hufflepuff are everything else.